welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and get started. I do want to let you guys know we are recording the session this evening. Just to make you aware, don't worry, your pictures are not visible. We can't see you on the recording, but we'll have that available for anybody who wants to watch it after the fact. Quick Zoom tutorial throughout the presentation. If you don't mind staying muted, at the end we'll have a Q&A. That'll be an opportunity for you to come off of mute. Cameras are going to have to stay off because there's some weird settings going on with Zoom tonight. Maybe at the end we'll be able to get your cameras on for the Q&A portion. And throughout the session, please feel free, drop any questions you have, anything you need clarification on in the chat. We have a couple members of our team who will be watching that, and they'll be able to help you out, or we'll bring that up at the Q&A at the end. All right, so the session is being recorded, and let's get started. So hi, everybody. Welcome to our Masters of Public Administration info session. We're going to talk about our MPA program today. So for this evening, we're going to start off with some introductions of important people, talk about the program in a little depth, some potential careers. We have a guest speaker with us this evening. That is Dr. Paul Dann. We are going to talk about the University of New Hampshire in general a little bit, tuition, financial aid, you know, the important money stuff. Lastly, we'll talk a little bit about the application itself, some important deadlines and information there, and we will finish up with our Q&A. So just to start off, I am Danielle Beatty. I am a member of the Student Success team. I am somebody you have possibly talked to kind of at that beginning stage when you're putting in the inquiry. Myself and my team, Cheyenne Acevedo, she's our assistant director, and Callie Iardi, another student success coach, are the ones kind of on the front line handling those inquiries, those questions. And then from the Carsey School itself, Carolyn, do you want to introduce yourselves, or would you like me to introduce you?
Sure, I'll just say hello. Hi, I'm Carolyn Arcand, Program Director for the Master of Public Administration and Master in Public Policy programs, and I'll be sharing some information later on about the program.
And then there's also Robin. Yeah, Robin, go ahead if you want to say hello.
Hi, everyone. Robin Husledge, and I'm at the Carsey School, and I also am available for any questions, meetings about any of our academic programs, and I look forward to working with you.
Great. And now that you have met our fellows from the Carsey School, I will actually hand it over to you, Carolyn, to talk about the program in particular.
Wonderful. Yeah, so I'm going to share a little bit about the program before talking with one of our faculty members. So yeah, first things first, this is a program that's geared towards a couple of different career options, and we target public service careers, and I'll talk a little bit more about careers later, but you know, town manager through fire department chief, through nonprofit managers, executive directors, future board members. And really we're teaching about the skill set that you would need to lead this type of organization, either public or nonprofit sector. Daniela, could you go to the next slide, please? So there are two options for going through the program. We have our executive MPA option, and this is 30 credits. It's geared towards individuals who have at least 5 years of relevant managerial or supervisory experience. People in that program can go through in as little as 12 months. And then our traditional MPA option is a 36 credit option, typically about 16 months for full-time students. And this is a program geared towards people who are closer to the beginning of their career, maybe just out of college and seeking to get the MPA to jump in and further their careers. Within the program, we have 2 specialization tracks. So students take 4 core courses, and then they can kind of choose whether they want to take a 4-course capstone track called our program planning and development track, where they do a community development project over the course of 4 e-terms, and that kind of spans a good amount of time. It spans a full academic year, essentially. Or they could choose from our management and leadership track. And that's a track where they would be taking a course in policy and program evaluation and taking a capstone course that requires them to kind of put together a portfolio of their experiences that they've gained throughout the program and also address what we call a problem response scenario, where they take those skills and apply them to a real world issue that would impact both public and nonprofit sector working professionals. So it's kind of a problem solving scenario. In either case, there's room for advanced core courses, so students can take courses in things like grant writing, management techniques, I'm trying to think, human resources management, nonprofit management, finance and budgeting. So there's an assortment of advanced core courses that you could use to kind of build out your degree. And students are also welcome to look at other courses at UNH and at the graduate level if they want to take those as electives as well. All of our courses within the MPA program are fully online and asynchronous. They take place in these 8-week e-terms, and you can take 2 8-week e-terms in the space of kind of what you would picture as a full academic kind of fall semester or spring semester. We also have a summer term. And while our courses are asynchronous, oftentimes professors will build in opportunities to connect in person. And so we might, for example, when I teach statistics, I have like a once a week 1-hour meeting where students can log in. I'll go over the problem set answers, people can ask questions, and I'll record those and post them to the course website. So if you want to come in person, you can come in person. If you can't come in person, you can email me questions and see me talking about them in the video. And regardless, either way, you have access to the video of kind of me going over those answers. So there's ways to connect if you'd like to connect. It is fully asynchronous if that works best for you. So we've got a bunch of different ways of making this work for people who are working full-time jobs and have other obligations and responsibilities as well. So yeah, just to talk a little bit about what the curriculum looks like and kind of what the courses look like. This is an example of our degree requirements, and we're happy to share this. I think if you set up a meeting with Robin or Anne, they could go through this in a bit more detail than you can see in this little slide. But this is basically what it could look like to go through the program as an executive MPA, and you can see at the bottom row there, it says executive MPA, and you can see how you can go through that program from fall through summer and essentially finish the program in 12 months if you're taking 2 courses per 8-week e-term. For the full MPA traditional program, you could complete that by starting in the fall and then going through the end of the following fall if you were taking 1 to 2 courses per e-term. And I just want to note too that there's options for a lot of times our students say, well, I'm okay with taking a little bit more time. So if you want to stretch the course over, 2 full academic years or kind of chip away at it at a pace that works for you, there's options for that as well. We have our core courses and we always offer them at the same time, at the same term, each academic year. But we also have electives and other courses that you can layer in and kind of choose what to take and when. And so this is kind of an example of some of that stuff. And we're happy to kind of answer questions and go through that with you a little bit more in detail and, in individual meetings, if that would make sense. So yeah, just to kind of talk a little bit more in depth about those 8-week e-terms that we offer. We have our first term starts at the end of August and goes through October. Then there's a 1-week break, and then you can take another 8-week course. And then there's a 1-month break between the end of our fall e-term 2 and the beginning of our spring e-term 3. And then we do have 2 spring e-terms spanning January through March, and then March through May. And then students tend to like the fact that we have a summer option as well. So there's an e-term in the summer that spans from May through July with an 8-week term. And so just thinking about, these are some of our grads from the MPA program, and thinking about the types of careers, if you're interested in, again, public sector management, so things like government administrator, public affairs coordinator, city manager, or town manager. Certainly nonprofit executive directors have gone through the program, or people who are hoping to get into leadership positions in human resources management, in the public and nonprofit sectors, public affairs, economic development. So we have a lot of options. And what's neat about our courses is that when you log into a course and go into your discussions, you're seeing people from all different aspects of the public and nonprofit sectors, as well as new grads who are coming right out of undergrad. So it's neat to have an opportunity to learn from each other in addition to learning from your professors. And speaking of professors, Paul, would you mind introducing yourself, and then we can talk a little bit about the courses that you teach and your upcoming summer course?
Sure. Thanks, Carolyn. Yeah, good to see you all. Thanks so much for asking me to be here. I'm more than happy to talk about the work that I do here in the MPA program. I've been a faculty teaching at the University of New Hampshire since 2014, so I've had many, many wonderful students over that period of time. I teach 3 courses typically in the program. I teach leadership theory and practice, organizations and management, and in the nonprofit and public sector. And then I also teach effective change management, which is coming up actually in this next term, spring term, summer term. Where are we at?
Yep, coming up this summer, I know.
Our time's flying by for me, so
It
that's
is.
good. Yeah, so coming up this summer term, I'm looking forward to that. Just so I could tell you a little bit about my approach to learning and teaching, and then of course, happy if I miss anything, Carolyn, you can fill me in and ask some questions. So first of all, let me say that in addition to having taught at the graduate level now for more years than I could probably count with you all, but 10 years here at UNH, I'm also the executive director of a large multi-state nonprofit organization. We serve more than a couple of thousand people every day across 7 different states. And so why do I tell you that? Well, I'm telling you that because it informs my teaching approach. What I like to do is to help the students within all of my courses develop what I call a scholar practitioner approach. I'm very interested in helping you to understand what's the theory behind why we do what we do. And what's neat about that is as we go through the course together, students typically go, oh, wow, I've been doing that. Now I know. Now I kind of understand why, that's been a gut sense that I've had that this makes sense. But now I understand really what the research is and what the scholarship is behind my practice. So I'm always interested in working with students to help them not only learn, but take what they learn out for a ride, take it out for a test drive, actually turn it into your practice and your day-to-day work. And what's wonderful about the students I find at UNH is that everybody really gets plugged in and they're supercharged about this idea that we're going to take what we're learning and we're going to actually go ahead and apply it to our practice on a day-to-day basis. So in the end, I think what happens is that we end up with a what I would call a learning community. We're really learning from each other. I really appreciate the way the students engage and the way they're plugged in. Also, as a part of my teaching practice, I really feel that I'm available for the students. In other words, if you're in my course, I'm available to you. If you want to set up a time to meet, you want to set up a time to talk, if you have questions or concerns, and if you really want to just dive into the topic area in greater depth, something's fascinating you, say, what, this doesn't make sense, or I want to talk more, I'm totally available for that. And what's great is over the years, students have continued to stay in touch. And I think that's one of the things about our learning community. We help students learn, grow, develop, achieve their academic goals, but also their practice goals. And then we're a learning community beyond that. I can't tell you how many students that I still have contact with and reach out to me and that we work with. Now, this summer, effective change management, what we're doing in that course is really taking that scholar practitioner approach, and we're going to help you because guess what? Change is, one thing's for sure is change. It's all around us. It's happening to us. We think about what are the ways that we can be effective in managing change? What are the ways, there's different ways to look at change. Well, how do we get on the front end of change? How are we proactive and how are we engaging change through our public systems and through our nonprofit systems in a way that that makes us effective change agents. So you can imagine, and it's true, we'll cover in that course everything from leadership styles for handling change, different managerial approaches for managing change, What are the theories behind change and effective change management? And also, more importantly, how do we then take it and put it into practice? Like Carolyn was saying, I have a couple of synchronous sessions that are completely voluntary. Students like to come and we can talk about different things, answer questions, and I record those and put them up for students to see who aren't able to join that. Also, I have a number of synchronous lectures, and there's discussion boards that go on, various papers and activities. So am I covering it? What do you think? Is it any questions for you?
Yeah, Paul, I appreciate you talking about being a practitioner as well as a teacher. And I think that's true of a lot of our faculty. A lot of us have had a hand in either the public or nonprofit sector and bring that into the classroom. So yeah, effective change management sounds great.
It's such a pressing topic and such an important one. And well, I always have a good group that runs through it, and we, together we learn a lot.
Well, thank you. I don't know if anyone has questions for Paul before we let him go, but yeah, I think that's super helpful.
Yeah, happy to answer any questions, and folks can always reach out to me as well. Great.
Thank you so much.
All right, good to see you all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so this will actually be my opportunity to jump right back in. We've heard from Dr. Dan and from Carolyn a little bit more about what makes our MPA program so wonderful. So now I'm going to zoom out a little bit and talk about what makes the University of New Hampshire the right choice or the best choice. Obviously a little biased. So the first thing that we'd like to mention is that University of New Hampshire is a Carnegie classified R1 research institution. This is a very impressive thing. We're one of 40 in the country that has managed this without having a medical school. And this is done because we have students who are conducting research, not just like in the labs, not just, with goggles and a lab coat on, but from sitting, on their couch, from sitting at their kitchen table, doing the work that you would be doing working in the MPA program. We also are very excited about our small class sizes. The opportunity, as you just heard from one of our faculty members, they're not just, scholars, they're also practitioners. They are out there working in the field. They have hands-on of the moment experience and expertise that they can share with you, and as well as the opportunities for networking and for getting, more information about what it is like to be working in this field in this moment. Beyond that, we also have a really great emphasis on theory and practice within our learning community. Oh, and now my slides don't want to work. There we go. So speaking of University of New Hampshire Online, what kind of support would you be getting from the student support team? I think one of the big questions that kind of becomes asked, there's a lot of people on this call right now who are all here to support you. How do you know who to ask what? And what we like to remind everybody is the student success team, so myself, Callie, and Cheyenne, we are kind of the first stop for any of your questions, any of your concerns, and we will help you get your question to the right place, or we'll find the answer for you. What we like to say is we don't have the answers to all of your questions, but we will find out who does. One of the other ways to look about it is if you have a question that is specific to your coursework, to what kind of classes you should be registering for, that's when you're going to want to speak with your academic advisor. But if it's a more general question, who do I reach out to for financial aid? Where can I learn more about scholarships? That would be something to reach out to the student success. How do I register for classes? The student success team would be able to assist you with that, and we'll point you in the right direction. One of the things that I often wax poetic about in terms of the University of New Hampshire are the IT services we provide, especially for an online service. Having access to quality IT support cannot be overstated, the importance of that. I am very proud of our IT support. They are the friendliest IT people I've ever met, and you will have 24/7 access to IT support, which is very important because as a working professional, as somebody who's maybe managing family in addition to working full-time and classes, you're not necessarily going to be only working on your courses from 9 to 5. You're not necessarily only going to be having problems Monday through Friday. So having that 24/7 access to assistance is very important. Similarly, our library offers 24/7 Ask a Librarian assistance. It is something that you can access, again, from the comfort of your home, 24/7, very important as an online student. There are a lot of opportunities to receive assistance with doing your research, with looking up articles, with checking out a book. You can even come up to the campus in Durham and check out a book if you need to in person, but there's lots and lots of resources available online as well through our library. We also have our Career and Professional Success, our CAPS program. This is an excellent service. They can help you wherever you are with an online appointment, do a mock interview, help build your resume, help you look into career opportunities, which can be really excellent. And then we also have our Center of Academic Enrichment, which is a great resource. You know, if you need some assistance with tutoring, if you need a little help, somebody maybe to like look over a paper you've written to help assist you with that, you can reach out to them. Now, the important question everybody wants to know, how much is this going to cost? So if you are a New Hampshire resident, it is going to cost $785 per credit. We do charge per credit. Out of state residents will pay $865 per credit. We also charge a technology fee that's determined by how many credits you take per semester. Since we do the 8-week terms, you would be paying based off of how many credits you would be taking between August and December, and then again from January to May. We also have, through the Carsey School specifically, some really incredible opportunities for financial aid. There's some education awards with our partners. There are some Carsey scholarships, which can help pay for partial tuition. And a lot of people don't necessarily realize, as a grad student, you are still eligible for FAFSA. So if you qualify, you can use FAFSA financial federal aid to help pay for your tuition. So if you heard all that and you're like, great, sounds awesome, sign me up. The next step is submitting your application. In order to get your application ready, there's a few things to know. Our application is fully online, very easy to complete through the application portal. There is a $65 application fee, but if you stick around to the end, we have a fee waiver for you. You will need 3 letters of recommendation. These are not going to be traditional letters of recommendation. All we require from you is the name and the best email address of somebody who can write a recommendation on your behalf. Then they will be sent a form that they fill out rather than having to write a traditional letter of recommendation. Something to keep in mind, these need to be professional or academic letters of recommendation. So let's say, for example, you graduated 10, 15, 20 years ago, and you're like, well, I don't have the contact information for any of my professors. That's okay. If you can find a supervisor at your place of employment, or even a colleague who's maybe been through a similar program and can speak to your ability as an employee and as somebody who could complete this program, that is an excellent source for your letter of recommendation. But we do ask that they are professional or academic recommenders. So, you know, not family members or friends. We will also require official transcripts from all of your undergraduate institutions that you attended. There's a personal statement that you'll need to write, and an updated current resume is a great idea. We do not require any standardized test scores, so don't worry about taking the GRE, which is a huge relief. If you are an international student, we will require English language proficiency tests. For more information on that, feel free to reach out to us. There are some test waivers available as well. And we're accepting applications right now for fall of 2024 with a deadline of August 1st. So you still got some time, but it's a great idea to get those applications in early. The sooner you get them in, the more time you have to look into scholarships, start applying, and get your financial aid handled and ready to go. I'm going to, so contacts, as I said, if you have kind of just general questions, especially as you're going through the application process, the student success team is your first stop for any questions you might have. Emailing us is the best bet, unh.online@unh.edu. but you can also call us at 855-250-6699. If you have questions about the programs in a little more detail, a little more depth, that would be a great opportunity to reach out to Robin Husledge or to Ann Kimball, and they can assist you with that. Their contact information is below. I'm gonna leave that there for just 1 second if you wanted to screenshot it. But again, I will drop our email address in the chat. And if there's anything you missed, you can reach out to us and we'd be happy to send you any information you need. So whenever you're ready, we can jump right into the Q&A.
Hi, this is Robin, and there's a question in the Q&A box from Mario, and it says lots of opportunities in federal, regional, and state offices. And you said you thought you would give it a mention, so I'm just gonna unmute you here. And so you can, I wasn't sure if you were saying that there are lots of opportunities.
So, no, what I meant was that there are lots of jobs, both located in state capitals as well as in Boston, for opportunities for some of your graduates who are out there. So I didn't hear the word federal jobs mentioned, so I just thought I would put a plug in since I spent 40 years working at the federal level, but just wanted to mention that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And there really are excellent career opportunities out there.
That's great. Did you have any other questions, Mario?
Yeah, I threw out the ethics question. I'm sure it's buried in one of the courses there, but it's such a challenging question for practitioners, and there's both the formal ethics requirements of your job, but it's also good to know through case studies and experiences where there have been challenges for public administrators who have had to face ethical issues. And I'm sure it's somewhere in a course, but I just wanted to again put in a pitch for the whole body of knowledge surrounding public ethics.
Yeah, I would say we touch on that in numerous courses. I'm thinking particularly of our course in program evaluation. So this idea that we're undertaking this process of understanding the extent to which our programs are serving our clients and kind of building that research from an ethical foundation is super important and something that we cover in class.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one of several.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the other things to think about too are just if you're interested in talking about those 2 capstone tracks that I mentioned, and the idea of this one track where you're able to do a project design and kind of undertake a project at the community level versus kind of compiling this record of kind of accomplishments in an e-portfolio and applying that to a real world scenario. If it would be helpful to chat about anything like that, I just wanted to mention that I'm available and happy to set up times to chat about what that process could look like for folks who might be interested.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this evening, and we look forward to hearing from you soon and receiving your applications. So have a good evening. Take care.